Hey everyone, nice to see you. Hey, this is Karen with Over the Artsy Moon, and I'm coming on to do a little fun painting with you right now. We are going to be working on one of these two. I think I'm going to go with the Valentine's look, but you could do either one really easily. These are the stencils that I'm using. It's actually just one stencil. It's from thestencilsmith.com. I have an affiliate code. It's Artsy Moon, all one word. And I'll show you how to create this. So super easy. This is an 8x10 canvas I'm using. And I don't recall what this was. If you need me to check or get the link for you, let me know. I'll get you the size that I bought for the 8x10. All right. And then we're going to use an 8x10 canvas, or you could use a piece of wood, whatever you have. I am just tucking a couple of rags behind here, and that will keep my surface a little more stable. As you come on, let me know if you're watching live with me. Tell me where you're watching from, and if you are watching the replays, put replay, and let's go. So what's everybody up to today? Have you started doing any painting for Valentine's Day yet? It's so much fun to do things like this. So I'm going to just tuck these like this. Maybe, how can I put these? Let's see, like that maybe? I don't know. How about like this? We'll overlap them slightly. Okay, so what do you think? Should I do winter or Valentine's? I kind of already told you what I'm going to do, right? I told you I'm going to do Valentine's. Hi, Alice and Deej. Nice to see you both. So I've got some dirty paint water. I didn't clean out my water. It all works fine. You just got to squeeze your rag out on your paper towel or your brush out, and you're good to go. All right, so let's do this Valentine's, and I did a little bit of drippy paint coming down there. So we're gonna first go ahead. Deej says Valentine's. Go ahead, grab some red. This one's Deco Art Primary Red, very basic. I'll probably need some more. Let me grab a little bit of water on there on my brush. Yeah, it's kind of fun to do the Valentine's look, but you can see the red here. It's your basic bright red, right? But as soon as we add a little bit of black in there, it's going to get it into like a moody look, a little bit of a fun background, and then we'll do some dripping paint as well. And I like stencils because sometimes you just don't know where to start or what to do. If you want to do the edges, go ahead and do the edges while you're at it. I'm just going to go ahead and do the top part. Thanks, Phoebe. I appreciate that. It's super easy. This is the stencil. It comes with the main one, and then it tells you overlay number 1, number 2, and number 3. So the Stencil Smith, really good company. They make it super easy to just come in and create something cute. And I'll show you how to do some of the shadows and highlights. Mostly it's the shadows with these marshmallows because they've got that toasted look. And you could just do them plain white too, but we wouldn't want to stop there, right? All right, so I'm gonna just throw that on here, give it a quick blow dry, and then I'll pour some of my other paint colors. I've got some black. I've got the white. This one, you can use any pink you want, but I kind of like how this one has a little bit of a coral feel. Or did I? Maybe I didn't. I think I used this one actually, because I'm looking at that cup. I think this one's a hot pink from Folk Art. I'm really throwing everything around now. Let me just set this down and wipe this off. All right. It wouldn't be a paint day without a mess if you're painting with me. Oh, Tara says, I used to work at Cape Cod Stencil. I haven't heard of that company. That's cool, Tara. Thanks for sharing that info. And if you do end up wanting to buy the stencil, I do have the affiliate code, as I mentioned, and you can ask me for that, or I did mention it a little earlier. So let me finish up with this. What's everybody's weather like? Are you guys freezing where you're at? Did you get all that snow? I think it's kind of weird. I'm closer to Chicago, and we hardly had any snow, like a dusting. And I have friends farther south, and they got like totally hit with the with the snow. So, you know, you just can't predict how it's going to work out. All right. And then I've got a couple browns. I've got the burnt umber. So you could just use the darker one if you want, but I want to use this raw sienna just to make it more of like a caramel, like a warm butterscotch kind of color for the toasty part. Hi, Danica. Nice to see you. Gail's here. No, Gail, I am back in Chicago. Debbie's asking, where do we get the stencils? This is from the stencilsmith.com. And this is one stencil. I'm doing it on an 8x10 canvas. I put a couple of cloths back here so I can fill this up. So when you do the stenciling, it's firmer. If you use a piece of wood, you can definitely make it work no matter what. Okay, so I didn't wash off my brush. I'm just going to grab a little more red. We're going to add some black in here as well. But I'm going to throw that red on here real quick. Just get those areas where maybe it didn't completely cover it. I know I just dried it, but I wanted to have that nice solid red on there. Then I'm just going to take the smallest smidge of black and then just a little bit of water in here. Maybe a little more water. And what can I use instead of raw or burnt sienna? You could put a little bit of yellow in with your burnt umber, and that would probably work just fine. Okay, I don't need to worry about the bottom part here. We're going to be adding a table in here. And so let me grab more red. It's golden windy here, Deej says. Sherry says not back to school. They closed school again for seriously? So is it like the whole week off, Sherry? What's going on there? That's crazy. All right, I didn't want it quite that heavy with the black and on the red there, so I'm just taking a little more, but I seem to be overdoing it. This brush is kind of falling apart, so I feel like I'm hanging on in the wrong spots. Maybe I should just grab a different one. Let me do that. All right, here we go. You're welcome, Tara. Okay. I do need the code, Deej said. So it's Artsy Moon. You know, I'm over the Artsy Moon. If you put Artsy Moon all together, you'll get that in capital letters, I think. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter too much. All right. So I really threw too much black paint on there. Let me grab a little more over here, and then I'll show you how I'm going to fix that, because that brush was messing me up. Sometimes you just gotta cut your losses and keep going. So all you have to do with acrylics, if you ever have this issue, just get it dried off, and guess what? Tell me in the comments, what am I gonna do? Just dry it off and then paint over it, right? I'll just paint over it. It will be a-okay. So a little more red here, and I don't want to cover up that black entirely, but ta-da, it's mostly fixed there. Okay, and then let's do the fun part that I was talking about, where we're going to do some drippy lines on top of it. Wow, Sherry, you haven't gone back from Christmas break yet. That is so crazy. I'll have to put these back in it in a sec, but I'll use these rags to kind of catch my drippings. Okay, maybe I'll just put this up here. All right, so what we're going to do, let's start with a nice mix here. I've got the red and the black, and I'm going to add a little bit of water in here. All right, you ready? Are you ready for the fun? If it's too dark, we can always just adjust it, but it's going to be watered down now, so it's kind of fun to do this. Okay, so here we go. So you can just throw it on there. Have it go there. If you like this, or you think that I'm a little crazy for doing this, let me know. This is fun to just do something where it's a little, yeah, Teresa had it, paint over it. Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. Okay, so we have some nice drips going on here. I'm going to grab some more of just the red. All right, I'll take some paint water and mix it in with just the red, and then I'm going to pull these on top. All right, so you can just see it's going a little crazy. Some of you might be thinking, I'm not sure about that, not loving it, but stick with me. Maybe you like it's kind of fun, and we'll try it out. I know it looks a little bit more like a horror scene right now, but we're going to get there. All right. Yeah, I didn't think about that with the black and the red. It's okay. It's all right. Look how cute it comes out in the end, okay? So no worries. You like the drip, Sherry? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. and I could just keep on going here. I think I will hurry this up a bit with my dryer. Okay, so I'm gonna push this along a little bit here. And if you need to, you can always add more, but I think this is just fine. I might do a little more just at the top to have it a little, I'll just grab some dirty paint water since I have that black. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's fun to try things and just see what happens, right? Because sometimes we're all worried. It's more like process art. When I was teaching elementary school, it was all about process art, a lot of it at least. We would try to get nice projects done too, but while we were learning, it was more fun to do some experimenting, and then the kids' art would turn out differently. So I never loved it when you're trying to do exactly what I'm doing. And with this, you can imagine it's impossible to have it turn out exactly the same way, right? Hey, Colleen. Nice to see you. Thanks, Sheila. I'm glad you like it. All right, just take a little bit of time to dry up front here, but we will get it going, and I can check the comments and see. Hi, Jill. Jill's hanging out here with us. Okay, looking good. And if you just came on, we are using stencils from the Stencil Smith. It's their Warm Holiday Wishes. That's the name of it, but I'm not actually using that. I think you could use that more for like a Christmas theme. They've got a candy cane part of it. We're just going to do the Valentine's Day look, but you could also just do a nice little winter one as well. Okay, so which one do you guys like better? Do you like the winter or the Valentine's? Which one do you like better? Winter, Valentine's or winter? Here's the winter one again. Let me know in the comments which one you like better. Thanks, Valerie. Hi, Andy. Nice to see you. Hi, Janet. Wow, lots of friends on today. So nice to see everybody. If you were going to pick one, you could only do one. Would it be the winter or would it be the Valentine's? All right, this thing needs to hurry up and dry. I guess this would be a good one to do the drips and then go do something else for a little bit, let it dry, and then come back. All right, let me wipe this off a little bit. All right, here we go. I think it's mostly dry. All right, I might just hurry it up a little bit by just taking some of that extra out of there. All right, good. All right, now it looks really bad. I know, it looks crazy right now. Let's get stenciling because it's gonna look a little crazy. Janet says cute, but I'm ready. I'm already over up in the North Tundra. You know what? The benefit, I went up to Saskatchewan to see my mom for Christmas and the rest of my family up there. And the benefit to having minus 36 while I was there is that now I'm back in Chicago. It doesn't feel that icy, even at minus 15. So, it was a good thing in that respect. Okay, so this one I feel like I went up a little too high with the placement. This one I think was more at the perfect spot. You can see where I put these two. So I just kind of did a little winging of it, and I like where this one is. So you could do it either way. I'm going to just measure where this one was. Okay, so these are lined up. I'd say it's about, how many? 3 fingers from the bottom, okay, of your canvas if you're using the 8 by 10 canvas. Patricia says, ready for both, but love both, but ready for Valentine's. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, so Valentine's for sure. The winter looks nice and cuddly warm. I'm sorry, I'm having problems reading. Hi, Cecilia. Nice to see you. All right. And okay, so I do have a lot of people who like the winter, a lot like the Valentine's. You could do either one. I think for this one, I used Folk Art Patina, but just like an aqua color. You can see any aqua would do. And then basically I think that's what I used this for. This one was the snowflake, the pink melon, and then the little heart up here. All right, so those are the colors I used for the winter. And then for the Valentine's, I'm going to be also using the spiced pumpkin. Brenda says I might do both. Yes, so much fun. And then we use the primary red, white, black, raw sienna. Okay, so any kind of toasty color, toasty brown. And then where's my burnt umber, my classic? I love burnt umber. So much fun. Shelly says, where can I find the stencils? The stencils, it's a two-parter here. But it's all considered one stencil. It's the Warm Holiday Wishes from the stencilsmith.com. My affiliate code is artsymoon, ARTSYMOON. And then you get 15% off. And win-win for both of us. All right. So I think I moved that already. So about 3 fingers up from the bottom. Center it right in the middle. And I'm glad you're seeing more of my art, Patricia. I appreciate you popping on. Hi, Paige. Nice to see you. All right, as far as brushes, I used the 1 inch or 3/4 inch flat for the background, and then I pulled it to get the drips over the back of it. We're going to use a bigger stencil brush. You can get them from the stencilsmith.com. They have really nice ones. I just still have really my older ones, but check out the quality. If you need a nice, beautiful brush, these bristles are, I'm sorry, my fingers are just like covered in paint here. The bristles are really nice. They're not quite as thick, I think. I think they're a little finer, and you have the measurements on here on the side. But you know what? You could still use any stencil brush that you have available. They will all work out. Hi, Ella. Nice to see you. Oh, it's cold where you're at. I hope it warms up. You know, we are in winter, I guess, but we love, well, some of us, guilty. If you're with me, you love summer. You're wondering why you end up living in a cold place. But actually, when I moved from Canada, let's grab some of our pink, okay? When I moved from Canada, and I can put lots because I'm going to start in the middle here. If you feel like you want to tape it down, go ahead. When I moved from Canada, I thought, oh, wow, I'm moving to such a warm place in Chicago. And turns out, you know, not so much, but you get used to where you live. And so now when I go back up, it's a little bit chilly. All right, so I'm just going all the way to the edges here. I'm working pretty quickly. When you go to the edge, if you have a lot of paint that's still on your brush on the edges, it will go under the stencil. So since I had a big space here to fill up, I'm just using a lot of that paint up in the middle. But if you were just doing a small spot, what you want to do is put it on your brush bristles, get it in there, and then offload. Go to another spot where you hardly have any paint. See how sheer that is, how see-through, how translucent. And then when I go to the edges, you can either tap, but the first round, I just usually like to go in these little swirls like this, and then you don't get that thing called bleed where it goes under your stencil. So it can still happen, you know, maybe you put too much paint on your brush, but you just keep a baby wipe nearby and you will be able to fix that problem right away. So I can check and see if it bled for me here. My stencil is from the stencilsmith.com. It's called Warm Holiday Wishes. And you can see you could do it for Christmas if you wanted, since we're not there right now. But next year, if you have it, you could do Warm Holiday Wishes on a little bit bigger of a surface. I've got an 8x10 that I'm using. And then you could do like a Valentine's Day or your winter look. Okay, while this is still wet, I'm going to grab a little bit of white on here. Just grab it on my brush, tap it in. Thanks, Debbie. She says, so cute. I'm glad you like it. I mean, how can you resist, right? These little guys are so adorable. And I've got a little hair coming out there. All right, and then I'm going to take some more of this. Is just going to give us more of a shine in the middle. So I'm just softening that up. And this is where I love using a stencil brush because you can just tap it in. And as I go out, then I'm getting that brightness right in the middle. And it's less bright as I go to the edges. And we'll still add a bit of the brown on the edges as well. So this is giving me a nice solid coat on the edges. but I'm not going to make it all one color. So right now I'll take a little bit of that brown, put that on my brush, get a bit more of the pink. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. So what I did, I took a little bit of brown, a little bit of pink, get that into your bristles, offload a bit. See, it's a different darker color now. And then you can just come in and tap. I think it's still too light, so I'm going to actually pull off some of that paint. You don't want to wet your brush when you're stenciling. You can wet it to clean it, of course, but when you're just, I forgot to mention that, when you go to stencil something, you don't want to have a wet brush. All right, there's my brown. I had that white in the middle, so that's what it was taking. Okay, so let me see. Oh, thank you. Who sent me stars? Patricia, that is so nice of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and then I can just tap around the edges here. And if it's not dark enough, you can always modify that later. But you can just do the tapping on the edge here. I'm getting a nice little shadow that I'm creating. I'm also going to do that on the handle. And this is where if you were worried about hanging on to it, you might want to go ahead and tape it down. All right, so I've got that nice shadow, but I want to blend it in a bit. So I'm going to pull off that excess brown and then just tap this in here, coming all the way around. I could grab a little more pink if I want. Okay, you don't have to do all these details, but I think it gives it a little more painterly look. You know, you're just getting a little more of those skills that you're learning. If you're in my club, you can be taking those skills you're learning with stencils, and you don't have to worry about a tracer. You can just get right to painting, and it's kind of fun sometimes. Okay. All right. Oh, thanks, Danica. She provided the stencil link. And don't forget to use my code artsymoon.com. That way you were going to get the 15% off. So that's my affiliate code. All right, instead of washing this, like I said, I like to keep them nice and dry. I will just use my baby wipe. I'll find a spot here and I'll wrap this around, and that will keep it moist enough so that the paint is not going to dry on it right now. Okay, thank you, Paige. I'm so glad you love the club. That is really nice of you to say so. All right, and one thing before I go too far, I'm just going to add a little bit of pink. So I've got my liner brush. Let me get that wet. A little bit of brown, a little bit of the pink, and I'll just fill in this bridge here. Okay, and the one right there. So that's what it's looking like right now. I don't know, my drips ended up getting really drippy today, so we'll see how it ends up in the end. We shall see. I'm so glad you love it too, Valerie. All right. Oh, and by the way, I have another question for you. So this one I used Snowtex yeah, to do the whipped cream here. Do you think I should just do hot chocolate, like a dark brown there, or do you like the whipped cream look? Let me know what you think. Whipped cream or hot chocolate? Which one do you want to see? Tell me whipped cream or hot chocolate, and then I will do that with you guys. Okay, before I go on to the second stencil here, I'm going to just go ahead. Actually, I'm going to grab this, my brush again, and then just grab the white here. So we'll just get some white on our bristles. Remember, so it's got a little pinky hue to it because it has the pink on the brush. I'm going to pull off some of that paint. Line this up. Thank you, Tamara. She says so adorable. I appreciate that. Can't help but love these little cuties, right? And then I'm just going to tap. Hopefully I didn't have too much paint on there. I'll find out right away. I always keep a baby wipe handy because if you do end up getting too much or some paint under there that is bleeding, which it is because I was adding too much, I had a feeling, and I always love to demonstrate how to fix your problems. Well, at least your painting problems. I can't help you with anything else probably, but you never know. Okay, so quickly before it dries, nobody will ever know. Just go back, pull off some of that paint. Let's dry this off real quick. Shauna says, just told hubby he was going to have to listen to the club on the way home. Well, good. Maybe he'll start painting with us too, Shauna. Thanks so much, Pamela. Love it. Okay, I'm going to check and see what you guys wanted to do as far as the hot chocolate or the whipped cream. Give me one sec. I'm just going to go a little lighter now. So I'm going to do, I forgot I was going to do my swirls, just my first layer here of swirls. Once you get that first layer down, let me check. Yeah, so much better, right? So follow your own advice, Karen, because sometimes you forget, right? Okay, I'll grab a little more hot pink. Actually, I'll do pink instead of white. I think I'm going to do the pink here. And then we'll do a bit of a white layer on top. Okay, we'll do some white highlights on our pink. So I changed my mind again. All right, there we go. Easy peasy. All right, thanks so much. Let's see. So we have hot chocolate, whipped cream, hot chocolate, hot cocoa. So far, we've got the hot cocoa winning. So I'm glad to do the hot cocoa because I kind of want to try it out. And then if you do want to do the snow text, you can just, instead of adding this directly, paint it white, that part, and then I'll paint it brown, and then you can add the snow text on later. All right, I'll grab a different stencil brush for the white snowflakes at the back. Sharon, I'm so glad to have you here. She says she's just starting her painting journey. Tina, what issues are you having with the stenciling? Let me know. Because as long as you are, okay, so you get lots of paint on there, but then as long as you offload and don't have too much on your stencil, then it should work for you okay, or fairly well. So make sure you offload. There's hardly anything on your stencil. And then you go very lightly for that first layer. Okay, and I'm just going to go very lightly in these very small swirls. And you could add more snowflakes to this too. Okay, by the time I come back to this first one, it's already dry, so I'm adding another layer. Right now they look like that, and then I will just add another layer on top of it. Okay, so as long as that first layer is light, then you're going to have a good result there. Okay, and then I think, is that it for this one? That's it for this one. And if you are worried you're going to use this a lot, I would use a baby wipe to wipe off the paint as soon as you do each section, and that way you will, get what you need. Okay, so let's do our first layer for our little marshmallows here. So cute. So how this stencil works is, I already kind of rubbed this off, but overlay 1, overlay 2, overlay 3. Makes it super easy. So you can line this up at the top of the cup. And I want to just make sure I'm good here. If you feel like taping it down, you can do that for sure. Okay. And the company I got this from, in case you are just joining me, is the Stencil Smith. I really like their stencils. And I have an affiliate code. If you need that, let me know, or somebody else can put it in there for you. All right, I'm going to just tape this down, and that way it's not going to move on me. Make sure I'm good. Okay. And then just go ahead. Jojo, I want to say, it's the one that fits on the 8x10. So what are the choices? It's either small or extra small. Let me see. I don't see my order form. I just got a whole bunch yesterday, so I had to try them out today. All right, so I'm coming to the middle here, getting most of that excess paint off before I go to the edges. Okay, probably too much paint. Yeah, that was always my issue. I learned how to do stenciling. I mean, I did it before, but when I started selling, I was doing like porch leaners. So there was a lot of painting with that. And so I would do those big letters and stencil those, and it would just break my heart when I would have the bleed underneath. And you can see right here, there's hardly any paint on that edge. Okay, so take a look at the top there. All right, so I'll be putting more paint there, but just having less on the edge on the first layer will keep it from bleeding on those following layers. All right, and so then I'm running out of paint at this point, so I'll grab more, go back to the middle here if I didn't offload. Okay, so I still have a big surface here to offload onto. Basically, that's what I'm doing. But when I get to the edges, I can just go in little swirls, holding your stencil down firmly as you go to that particular spot. And then you'll get a nice coat of paint here. All right, let's see. I think that should be good. Let's see, Tamara says, oh, she's giving some advice. Yeah. Kathy says she just ordered the stencil. Kathy, are you going to paint the winter look or the Valentine's Day look? Or maybe are you going to start working on Christmas for next year with the warm holiday wishes? You could do at least 3 different things with this cutie, right? So if you are planning on doing this one with me, I'm going to add a little more white, just a little more. Make sure you bookmark this, or make sure you're following my page so that you can easily get this tutorial when you need it. Where do you get the stencil? Angela says it is from thestencilsmith.com. It is an awesome company. I like the white mylar. It's nice and thick. And I have that affiliate code. If you need it, just let me know. I will make sure I go back later and check to see if anybody still needed the link. The extra small fits 6 by 10. What about the small? Because I think, so as far as the dimension of the stencil, this might help you to answer what I used for the 8 by 10. This is just over 7 inches, 7 1/4 by almost 12. Okay, so hopefully that helps you to order the size that you want. All right, I kept on painting there, and then I ended up pulling off. So I'm just gonna add just a smidge there. You usually got to wait till it dries before you keep on adding the layers. Okay. Danica, you are so helpful. Thank you so much for putting that link in for everybody. All right, let's take that off. So that's my marshmallow layer. Don't they look so cute? All right, and then let's go ahead and we'll put our snowflake on. Now, I did a white snowflake with some red dots. You don't have to do the red dots for the winter one. I did the pink melon one and then added white dots. Kathy's going to do the Valentine's one. Very good. So thank you, Mary Ann. She says, so cute. You're welcome, Angela. Tamara says, I love all of them. Really loving the background on the Valentine's painting. Yeah, we did some dripping paint there. Made it kind of fun, right? All right, so this, now we're going to line it up here. I guess I didn't have to take that off, right? Because I had it already lined up. And then I'll just use my dry brush here, make some big circles. Coming around. I'm still holding on tight because I want to have this firmly as close to the surface as possible. That will help the bleed as well. Prevent bleed. Okay, that's good. Just a little smidge more offload. Yeah, it is very disheartening if it goes under your stencil. So you don't want to have to go and paint around it. So as soon as you can, go back and just pull off that paint with your baby wipe and you're good to go. Thanks, Brenda. All right, thanks, Kathy, for putting that code in. Artsy Moon, all one word. All right, and like I said, I don't put my stencil brushes in the water. We're just going to put them into a rag. I'm on a canvas and I'm using a couple of rags just to fill in that space. If you had foam or something like that, that would work as well. All right. Okay, so what should I do next? Let's see. Makes it easy. We just look here. So you want to dry it off before you go too far. So it looks like we're doing our eyes and that hot chocolate. That's what we voted on. Okay, right, Danica's saying the size is on the edge of my... Danica, where did I see it? Really? Did I miss it somewhere? It's probably right in front of my nose. I don't see it on the edge, but I will figure it out. I'll figure it out and post it later. I'll put it into the description for you guys, okay? Thanks, it already does look cute, right? All right, so what we do with this, let's go ahead and line this up. I'll pull my tape off here and put it on the side. And then all you're gonna do is line up the bottom of the marshmallows right here where you have the hot chocolate. And I think that's pretty good right there. And then just check that your marshmallow eyes are in the right spot. Okay, I grabbed a Posca. You could do the whole thing where you're using the black, but it's kind of a pain in the neck to wash off the stencil brush. So all I'm gonna do is just go in here and put the dots, and then I'll show you how I'm going to get some nice solid black dots on here in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to do this to get my first placement of those eyes. Super cute, right? I mean, it makes it easy. Here's what we have right now. Okay, and we'll make that a little more solid in a sec. Okay. And Kathy, if you do a lot of stenciling, you could always, get a bunch, and then that would save you on shipping that way. But I understand. Trying to send things to my family is pretty hard because of the postage cost to Canada. All right, so we're going to do our hot chocolate color. I'm going to just use this burnt umber. It seems pretty perfect to me. So get lots of it on your brush. So you want a lot in those bristles. Okay, I'm getting lots in there. And then you can either offload on your palette, or you can just tap onto your rag just to get that excess off. And yeah, it makes it easy, Danica, for sure. And then just very lightly, just go lightly in these little circles for the first layer. First layer, always a little lighter. Okay, it'll dry in about 10 seconds, okay? We can just get a little more on our brush, tap off to make sure it's gone, and then the second time I usually come in and tap. Okay, let me just do a quick look, make sure. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, very good. Easy peasy, right? Yes, Kathy says Stencil Smith also has a Facebook group and they do demos every week. Yep, I love them. I think they're really, really nice. You get some good ideas. Okay, I'm going to just put that brush in there. And then let's do, actually, I'm going to keep that brown one out. I got my mess here. Sorry, guys. All right, and then we're going to line this up. I just want to get my outlines ready to go first. So I'm doing it maybe slightly different than the order they did. Hi, Desi. I'm so glad that you are here with us. This stencil is from the Stencil Smith. It is so cute. You could do it for winter. You could do it for Valentine's Day. You could do it for Christmas, okay? Sorry, I got some bruises. I was moving my furniture around. I decided to do a whole well, not renovation, but purge in my studio. So there used to be a spare bed over on that side. I got rid of that. I dragged it to the curb and it is gone. And I put my office over there now. So I'm feeling very good as far as getting a lot of stuff ready to go for a successful new year. Do the rest of you all do that in January, or is it just me where you feel like you have to just have a clean slate and you want to start fresh? Okay, so I'm lining these up and you're kind of just looking to see where you think the marshmallows would fit. I think that I missed the eyes on the top right. Okay, I'll check that in a sec. All right, so I still have that brown on here, so I'm just going to come in. Oh, there's not too much, but there might be just enough. It's better to have too little than too much. All right, and I'm actually going to go over those noses as well with this dark brown. That's going to give us a nice shadow. All right, Yeah, I like how much paint there is, the lack of paint here. Anyway, so I was pushing things around. That's why I have these bruises. Okay. Oh, look how cute they are, you guys. Yeah, I think I have the eyes, but they're kind of tiny. So I appreciate that. All right, and then if you were doing the candy cane, you would have done this one and this one if you're doing going to keep this for next year. Okay, so I think that's it for this right now. So we're done with the stenciling part. Now we're just going to go ahead and I can throw these brushes into the water now. All right, just to get some of that excess paint off. And then let's grab our liner brush. I might grab a small round real quick. Actually, this one might work well. Let's see. Kathy says, we're brainstorming a reorganization to fit more storage. Good, excellent. Janet says, thanks, Gloria. She says, cute. Janet says, I'm busy in January with accounting, so even though you don't have time, you wish you could. Okay, with vacation. Yeah, vacation for sure will take up some time. But yeah, I bet you're very busy with your accounting gig as well. All right, let me put this here so you can see everything. You know what? I forgot to do this part down here. For the bottom, you could just have it floating, okay? Do you guys like the floating or do you like having the table? I kind of liked having the table. Yep, you could buy the stencil, Gloria. It is a stencil that is available at thestencilsmith.com. And my affiliate code is ArtsyMoon, and it's all one word, and you get 15% off if you use that on stencils, okay? And they have really great brushes too if you need the brushes. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm going to put the table in. So I probably will need a little more. Let me see if I have enough paint. So I'm going to use some of that. I'm going to put some of the dark brown, some light brown, or the medium raw sienna, some black on here. And if you feel like you want to have it be a perfectly straight line, you could draw a line. I'm going to try to wing it, but I will start right here at the bottom. So I've got all three colors on my brush. I'll flip my brush and just start pulling that wood grain across. So I am going to cover up a couple snowflakes here, but it's all good. So maybe a little less black, and then you'll get more of that brown. As you come up next to the table here, you're just going to you're going to flip and flatten your brush. Okay, so you get as skinny of a chiseled edge right there, and then just come up as high as you want. I'm just going to put my brush right there and come straight across and just slide over. And let's see, does that look pretty straight? I think my table's going down slightly there. I'll just go up slightly, and then I can fill this in as well. And I know that red is showing through, my snowflakes showing through. All good, don't worry about it. We will get there. Okay, to get more of a shadow underneath the cup, I'm going to grab just the black. Okay, so I'm glad you agreed with the table, Jill, since I decided I was going to do that, right? Okay, I've got mostly black. I added a little bit of burnt umber here. We'll just come around the bottom. All right, so you can have your brush. Let me show you. I don't need this part now. You can have your brush. You can plant your pinky and put your brush right there and push and go around the curve. Or you can just take it nice and slowly and just come around. Okay, then you get that nice dark color right under the cup. It's going to help with shadows. And just pull your color out. All right. And I'm just pulling this out toward the edges. Okay. And can someone help me with the link, please? I think it's up higher in the comments. It's thestencilsmith.com though, but it's all one word. So T-H-E, Stencil Smith, S-M-I-T-H. All right, and then I will take a little bit of white on my brush and a little more of that brown, a little white, a little brown. Don't mix them up on your brush. Just come in and you can pull across more from the sides, a little bit on the bottom. Just see what happens. It's always going to look different. because every time you paint, it's, you know, you're holding your brush slightly different. You're adding different amounts of paint on your brush. It's all good. They don't have to look the same. They can all be unique in their own way. Okay. And I'm so glad you guys are all joining me today. I appreciate that. I know you have busy things, busy lives, and it's always nice to have people hanging out with me. Makes it very nice to just spend a little time together. And I hope you're having a wonderful, happy new year so far. And if you have a little bit of red peeking through, it's all good. All right, I like this color. What do you think? Do you like more of the gray look? This one ended up being a little more brown, but I think I like this one the best actually so far. So that's good because it's on the live with you. All right, Gloria, I gave some tips on how to use the stencil, so make sure you offload you don't have too much paint on your brush. You offload it, which means you take some of that paint off right before you paint. The first layer is always really light and not too much paint. And then once you've got that first layer on, you can add a little more. All right, let's go to our liner brush here. And then we're going to give, let's use the liner brush. Okay, so what you're going to need here is the back of your paintbrush, your smallest one, and just dip into the black paint. Make sure you've got a blob of paint there. And then all you have to do is just come here and dot on. Keep on reloading. If it's been sitting for a while, you might want to pour some fresh paint. So I think I will do that. I'm glad you like the wood grain, Valerie. Thank you so much. And you can do like a dry brush later if you want it to be. So let's start in the middle with the most paint and then we'll work out. All right, and we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for a fun painting experience. I told you to start on the middle and then I go to the outside. Don't you love that? Angela, I cannot remember. It was definitely not medium. It was maybe the smallest one. I'm very sorry. I should have checked what it was before I did that. But once I finish here, I will look it up and see what I ordered for the 8x10 canvas. I love these little perfect dots you get here. And we're going to add just a little bit of highlighting. I should have done that first, but too late now. Too late. Not highlighting, some little shadows, because I like how these ones turned out. We added a little bit of shadow in there. If you want to do the whipped cream look, you can get Snowtex for that 3D look. Okay. The group here that was with me, and when I asked, they said they wanted the hot chocolate, so we're doing the hot chocolate right now. I'm going to let that dry and then we'll come back to those in a sec. So let's do a little bit with our white, pull and twist. So you take your brush into that white, pull and twist so you have more of a point on your brush. And then we can come in and do some light lines. They don't have to line up with this. They could be on top or they could be around. You could just do this however you want. I'm just going to keep it real loose here and see whatever happens, happens. All right, let me pull that over there. And then I will do a few more highlights on the cup. Thanks, Kamala. I appreciate that. She said wood grain looks very good. Thank you so much. So we can just come around the top here, do a little curve there, a little curve there, and we'll definitely want to do one in the middle. And I'll do a little curve on the handle here. I'm going to grab some pink. As I come down, I'll just blend it with that pink. So keep on dipping into the pink, and then it's not quite as scary to have that solid line there. All right, so you can bring that down like so. I'm going to take some brown. I'm not rinsing off my brush. I'm going to take a little brown here. Loretta, this is going to be in on my page here. So make sure you bookmark this or make sure you follow me so that you're able to find this later. I'm using a stencil from thestencilsmith.com, and it's a 2-part stencil with lots of overlays, but it's all compact if you get one of the smaller sizes, so super easy, and you can do a lot of fun stuff with it. Okay, let's also get some of that mix with the white and the pink, and we'll just do a little curve there and a little curve on this side. My paint's a little dry there. Let's see. I'll just pull that up slightly. Let me grab a little more pink. There we go. I'll just blend that out too a little bit. I think my paint is getting a little thick from sitting there. That's okay though. Thank you, Karina. I appreciate that. The stencil number and size are stamped onto the edge. I can't find it, you guys. I will look for it though. I'm blind. I've got old eyes, so that's what happens, right? You get older. Let's do some hearts and then we'll come back and finish up our cuties here. So all I'm doing for these hearts, I would get, this one's a number, what is this? I can't tell because there's no number on it. I'd say about a number 2. Get a number 2, and all you're going to do is, let me pour some red as well. It happens. You get old and your eyes change a bit. It's okay. We're all right with it, right? So I've got pink and red. All I'm going to do is, maybe that's too much red. Okay, let's put some white and pink. I just did this yesterday and you'd think I'd remember. All I'm doing is a stroke and a stroke, and you've got a simple little heart. You can make them a little bit more perfect, but all I'm going to do is make some in different directions. And if they're not perfect, they're going to end up being a little bit bigger once you do your corrections. But if they're a little wonky, a little sideways, it'll work. Sometimes we try to make everything so perfect, and not necessary. It's artwork. It's an expression of your happiness with painting, your happiness with just being alive and creating something so cute, right? It's all good. So 2 little strokes, easy peasy, right? Are these the easiest little hearts you've seen? Hopefully. And you can make them anywhere you want. I'll just put them on the wall, like their little wallpaper in the background. Glad you like them, Hannah. Thank you so much. Yeah, just cuties. We could add some more snowflakes if you wanted instead of the hearts, but since we're doing our Valentine's look here, we might as well do something to go with that as well. All right, do you think I have enough hearts? Let's see, I think I need a couple more little ones. Let's see, like there, is that Jojo cutie? Okay, and then let's balance this out. One more right here, it's calling my name. There we go. Yay, okay, do you think I have enough? Did I miss a spot? You know, you could just keep on going, right? All right, teeny little one right there. Okay, hopefully that's good. All right, and let's do our final details. All right, do you like the look of the red on the snowflake to make it a little more Valentine's Day-like? If you're just popping on, you could do this, use the stencil for winter. I did this one with these 2 colors. Okay, you can see, as well as the black in the background. You could also, you know, choose any of your favorite colors that you'd like and just make it work, right? Okay, so I think I will go ahead and just use my dotting method, and all I'm doing is coming right on top of those current dots, but reload your brush every time to make sure you have enough paint on there. And of course, you don't have to do all these details. Maybe you would come up with some other details yourself, but you know, I just could go on and on with this stuff. It's just fun to add little things to it and personalize it. And I know if you just are coming on right now, which one appeals to you more, the winter one or the Valentine's version that I'm doing? And anybody who is ordering, I really appreciate you using that code Artsy Moon when you do your stencil order from thestencilsmith.com, because then it helps me and it also helps you to get that 15% off. It's indented. Okay, I'll finish this and then I will look for it, okay? Now, to get our toasty look here, these I think should be dry. Let me just hit it with a blow dryer just to make sure. All right, that's good. We're going to use that. I'm going to use that number 2 still. Grab a little, oh, sorry, not the orange. Let's grab our brown and we're going to take a little bit of that white in there. Just pick a color that, imagine you were toasting your marshmallows and this is the color that you picked. Okay, so I think that's good. And then all I'm going to do is come over to the edge, all the way on top of the white, right above the hot chocolate. Okay, then I'm going to dip into the white and pull that, blend that out just a bit. So while it's still wet, you want to do this. And if you end up going over those little dots, you can always fix those. Okay, so let's do that on the other side. I'm so glad you're excited, Danica. That's awesome. And then a little bit of the white. We'll just blend that in slightly. You can see it would have been easier to do this before I added the dots, but I forgot. Forgive me. When you do it, you can do it the easier way. However, not the end of the world, right? I always told my kids when I was teaching art at elementary, hey, not the end of the world. With acrylic, you can always paint over it. There's always a fix to most of these little issues. And you don't even have to be super careful with your blending here. You could just do a soft blend. But if you have some variation in your color, that's okay too. I'm just going to come in a little darker down here. Okay. Thanks, Corinne. She says they're both cute. Glad you like them both. All right. And has anybody done any painting today? Let me know. And are you ready for spring yet? Are you ready for spring painting? Because that's what I'm working on. I'm getting designs ready for the Artsy Moon Paint Club. I've already started on Easter paintings, if you can believe it. So those will be coming up if you're in the club. They'll be coming up fairly soon. But I've already given you all your paintings for January. I think I gave you extras, like 4 different paintings. So I gotta pull back, but I'm working ahead because I'm going to, I just like to work ahead because it just makes me feel a little more comfortable to know I'm prepared and giving you everything that I promised if you're a member of my club. Okay, I went over my dots. Lost the chat, but she's back. Colleen says, sorry, I missed the code. The website is thestencilsmith.com and it is Artsy Moon for the code. And you can also get that 15% off with that code. It's my affiliate code. And then you save a little change and I get a little perk as well. So I appreciate that. Okay, so you get an idea, and let's do I think we're happy with that. What do you think? Toasty? Is he toasty enough? Oh, you know what? He has little pink cheeks too. I forgot the little pink cheeks. I forgot them here. You know what? You can tell me if you like them or not. I'm going to add some little pink cheeks. So I'm going to use my red, tiny little bit of red with that white. You know, I get carried away with these things, right? You can see this probably is taking way longer. But it is what it is. Okay, if you're asking about the size, I will look as soon as I get a chance. But I'm going to finish this first and then I will look for you. Okay, guys? So we're just going to add some little pink cheeks here, and then we'll add the carrot nose details, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm just putting them in the you know, if you look at the eyes, just go slightly on a diagonal down. And if the nose is in the way, you can just put a bit of that color, but don't worry about it too much. I don't even know if you can see that or not. You see the pink cheeks? All right, and now some orange. So we'll add our orange in here. We're not going to cover up everything. We're just going to come to the top 3/4 of it. So leave a little border of the brown showing. And we have to do our final highlights on the eyes. These do go really fast since they're so tiny. Okay, looking cute. You like the extra details. It does make it not look like a stencil then. Then you get all of the, it's almost like you are doing your own painting, right? You just had the tracer. And in the club, I do provide the tracer. So it's similar to that. You're just getting a little extra. All right, so for the eyes and the nose, all I'm going to do is pull and twist. So I have sort of a point. You could go with a smaller brush if you want. Maybe I should do that. Let me go pull and twist. This one is a 0. And all I'm going to do is just come in and make a tiny little dot. If you don't have a good point, just get more paint on your brush. And you can come into all these little spaces if you want, or just do it on the eyes if you prefer. Whatever you like. Keep on reloading. Actually, I'm finding dipping into that petal of white is making it a little bit easier to get a nice clean dot. And it might depend on your brush, whatever brush you have. Oop, too big, but might be okay. Are you going to be doing any new St. Patrick's Day door hangers? Debbie, I probably am not, but I did order a stencil. So if you guys are interested for St. Patrick's Day, I can demonstrate that one here next month, probably. So let me know. Okay, and then if you want to put a little bit, I think these are too googly-eyed with the white, but we'll see. I can come in with some black back in there. Let's do our final white to our little noses. We're going to just add a little bit of, I got too much water on there. Let's add some white to our carrot noses. I'm just taking it and putting it mostly in the middle, just a little bit of a wiggle. Wiggle. Okay. And let's see, have I forgotten anything? I think that's pretty good. Oh, you know what? One more thing here. So we can get our brush wet. My water is really not the cleanest right now. It's okay. Find your white. All right, so just slightly watered down. I've got the toothbrush here, and then I'm going to pull it toward myself. So this will give you a fine spray. Oh, that's kind of heavy, but that's okay. We'll just add it on there and get a little bit of a mist going on. And it's kind of fun. Maybe I'll put it on the table too, because there's snow everywhere. Just a tiny little mist down here. And you just don't pull as hard. You just pull very lightly and you'll get that soft little look. Okay. If I wanted to go crazy, I would add some highlights to our little hearts. Okay, so you can just do a few little highlights there too, because we can't stop, right? In 10 hours, we'll still be here adding details to this thing. Can you tell I love to paint? Who else is with me? If you love to paint, go ahead and click that heart and let me know you love to paint too. This makes it fun and easy, and you know, we have a good time. So I'll just add a little bit of a little dry brush up here at the top of the table. And I think that's fun. And there's a little room. You could always put the word love or something like that. If you put it as high as I did, I meant to put a little lower, but it is slightly lower, but I kind of liked the placement of this one. So this one is actually just over 2 fingers higher than the bottom. So if you want that placement. All right. Oh, thank you for all the hearts. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to just look and make sure I didn't forget anything major here. I do feel like fixing up those eyes, that one set of eyes. And then I'm going to look and see if I can find the size of the stencil. But seriously, like, okay, I'm going to feel and see if I can, that's paint. I'm not, oh, there it is. Okay, but I need a magnifying glass. Okay, it says, whoever was telling me that is so nice of you. Okay, it's number 9751-S-2. Okay, so I don't think you can see that, but it is. Thank you so much for telling me that. Never knew. So I'm guessing it's a small, but number 9751-S-2. Yay! So hopefully you like that. If you don't feel like Valentine's Day, you could do something similar with the winter one, or use the stencil next Christmas to do the warm holiday wishes. You can see how cute that would be. Even just the word wishes down there would be cute, right? Or the word warm, whatever you feel like doing. All right, probably too soon to do this, but we'll just do this. Let me check if you have any questions. I believe so, Danica. I'm going to just double check by entering that code. But if you enter the code, you should be, it should probably pop up. Okay. 1, hold on, 1 and 2. There we go. That's better. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And I will put the exact size. I'm going to look it up right away and put the exact size in the description for you, so you will have that if you're interested. All right. Happy painting, everybody.